And that's us. It's always an abrupt start, isn't it? I never know properly. What am I doing here?
It's fine.
It's hi guys, hello
Hello.
everyone. Millie's in the chat. Hello.
Good evening.
Sorry I'm late. I'm having my tea. You are not late. You are right on time because it's us, my love.
Yeah, we're always late, except for last week.
We were just kind of on time this week. I think I just sat here sort of chatting and getting carried away with things.
That is how the ADHD is late a lot of the time, though, isn't it? That you're kind of ready, but you're like, oh, I don't really want to, because we were ready at 2 minutes to, but it's like, well, I can't start yet because it's 2 minutes to. So then you start something else, and then it's 5 past, and then you're behind.
It's very true. It's that false sense of security, like, I did it.
Yeah.
I'm on time. Like, you can only say that when you're at the end of your
You're
day
actually
getting
there.
in bed.
I'm very good, thank you, Melis. How are you?
I'm also very good also. It's been a strange week, hasn't it? I was trying to think outside of the fun we've been having. This world has been just it's insane.
I've kind of unplugged from a lot of that. Like I was saying to Steph earlier that I like GB News channel now and again just to hear what's going on, and I'll like tap in, 5 minutes is enough, tap back out. I'll live in my own little world, thank you.
Peace and love, that's enough. Goodbye.
How are you, Melis? This is what we want to know. Are you well?
How are you all doing? It's does anyone do we know who Moo Deng is? Is it just like I'm worried that I'm bringing this up and everyone's like, who?
I'll be honest, I didn't, but when do I ever know anything that's going on? Whether it's big news, small news, viral.
I feel like that makes me even more excited for it because
You're bringing Moo Deng to people's lives.
if I can be the sharer of Moo Deng, then I'll be very happy.
Oh, the world's going crazy. What was that? The world's going crazy recently. I don't bother with it now. Yeah, same here. This is the thing. It's like we'll just keep in our little bubble and
Ain't it?
hey, Kat.
Just wait for Thursdays at 7 o'clock and you can come and join us again. You can
Yeah, exactly.
breathe
Tap into
properly.
that.
Hey, Kat.
Meliz, I've been really tired. That's one thing that I was going to say. Today, my energy levels have come back a little bit, but yesterday and the day before. But it was a beautiful full moon this week, and I am obviously very open and in tune to these cycles. I believe that we are cyclic beings, and yeah, I think a lot of people have felt really drained with that energy and tired.
Is that a thing though? Is the moon explaining that why people are feeling tired right now?
Well, it's just that shift in energies, and it's very much asking us to, release and let go of anything that's not serving us, and look inward, and reflect on, because
Which in itself is a tiring work.
Yeah, and I think at this time of year in particular, it's very much harvest season. So it's very much reflecting on what seeds have you sown this year.
Collecting all the
Yeah.
Yes, you've put all these little traps out throughout the year.
Yeah, it's kind of
Now
like, gathering it in and thinking, well, that worked really well and that crop failed. Why did it fail? What can we do to learn from it? And
do you know what? I love that. I feel like that's actually kind of hitting where the podcast, the platform's at as well. I feel like a lot of legwork has been put in this year and it seems to start to become into fruition. Like there's people contacting us through email, there's people that we're speaking to at galas and events that are now responding to us.
social media's popping off a little bit.
Social media's going. You love the dog videos. That's awesome. But I've got some funny videos. Sorry, what was I saying?
No, I was just gonna say the migraines as well. That's really common with these energy shifts. And I actually think for those of you that are spiritual beings and are into that kind of content, like how I am, they are talking a lot about these frequency shifts. It's the biggest frequency shifts that the world has been through for thousands and thousands of years, and that this is a very changeable time. So those that are more sensitive may well be sensing those changes. So you might be screaming at the screen right now, like, yes, I believe that, or you might be thinking, what a load of waffle. And for that reason, I'm not going to spend too much time going on about it.
I think it's interesting because, again, my knowledge in this is very tiny. I have no idea, really. But if the frequency shift is all this chaos in the world, and it is this like, it's like so much is happening. You know, a second attempt at an ex-president, possibly future president's life. There's wars all over that are escalating.
Yeah.
There's just the worst. Like, it just feels like and everyone you talk to has got this really strong opinion that seems to be like, and you're like, oh God, and I just.
In a way, it's quite nice to think that it's because of these frequency changes, isn't it? It's like a way to bring peace to your mind, where you think it's all part of the plan. What we're witnessing is what what was expected, and just keep believing, keep working on yourself, keep that inner peace, and that's all you can do to raise the collective conscious.
It's interesting. I keep thinking 2028. It keeps seem to be the year that something's working out at that point.
Yeah, that's when those that have put in all the work and will shift their frequencies up into paradise, and those that have kept with those old-fashioned beliefs and locked into their fear will find themselves existing in that world of chaos.
It goes straight over my head. It sounds so fun, but I'm like, I know the words you're saying, they just don't seem to be creating a thing.
It's all good. So my Liz, things have been more positive in the past week. I've been really pushing myself to kick ass against my fears, and it's been so scary, but it's kind of working. You go, girl. Literally, like, you can't ask more of yourself than to do what you can when you can. Remember to rest, but also remember that those fears, they're sneaky, they're hiding the good stuff. Feel the fear and do it anyway. That kind of vibe.
Yeah, definitely. If you caught last week's episode, we spoke about anxiety and the joy that it really robs you of. So
yeah,
definitely go and catch that episode if you're just watching us now. Like and subscribe this video, our channel, all the good stuff. Help us, please.
Please do that.
That seems too desperate.
Well, the thing is, if you watch a lot of YouTube, you'll know that every YouTuber says it. Make sure you hit that like button.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so true. When you hit that like button, it means that our video's more likely to travel further.
We're on the road to 500 subscribers right now. So if you're looking, you're like, oh, I could chuck them like a little charitable subscribe. Please do.
Yeah,
because
do it.
The things that get unlocked at that amount of followers is amazing. You can there's a new feature that's coming with YouTube where you can hype us.
Oh,
and it basically is a feature so that, because there's so many different people trying to create online, and there's also a load of accounts that are just AIing a load of BS and then shoveling it through. If you can see that there's a creator that's standing out to you and you're like, why have they got barely any followers? You can then hype them.
Nice.
And by doing this, you get entered into like leaderboards throughout different categories. So like if you end up on a leaderboard, then you get more recognition. That's cool. It just helps smaller creators. But we need that 500 subscribers.
Yeah, on the way. So we're getting a cool little reminder not to forget the intro. So I think let's play the intro and then let's get stuck in, because we've got loads on the agenda today.
100%. Let's get the intro.
See you on the other side.
Why is it like this? The haters should be loved, we invited. You don't agree, then you're the problem that we're fighting. Open up your mind, stand up, become righteous. Why is it like this? Instead of haters should be loved, we invited. You don't agree, then you're the problem that we're fighting. Open up your mind, stand up, become righteous.
Show my Thai dumpling.
It's almost as bad as my fruit innuendo. Did you see that?
Sat on your plums, did you, my love?
I couldn't believe it. I thought, I'm going back to taking apples. I just can't be trusted with this fruit.
You'll be there with a hot dog, like, no.
Do you know what?
No more food.
Do you know what I thought was cute though? Like, plums is quite an old school, old-fashioned kind of thing, isn't it? And the kid that laughed, you can tell that his family are like just dead old school and dead cool, and it was him that giggled. And I thought his old man says that, oh, just sat on me plums.
Plums. Yeah, it's I find it quite endearing. There's worse words for it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I quite like plums.
Love your intro. We love our intro too. We're thinking we need an updated visual to go with it, but we love
Yeah, we definitely need I've got a few like ideas. Again, it's getting around to doing
Yeah,
it.
no, it is. We never stop, guys. It's not like we're like, oh, I've got this list of things to do. We're constantly at it.
Yeah, I promise.
Right, let's see. Moo Deng. Is that his name? Moo Deng.
Moo Deng.
Moo Deng.
The giver of my piece this week is this baby pygmy hippo. Oh my word. Like,
That is the cutest.
I can't get over this. It's so cute. It is in a zoo in Thailand.
Thailand.
That's how we talk about it now.
Yeah, if anybody wants to fly us out there so we can do a special episode from this zoo, we're down. I think
Have you ever wondered how plastic?
We definitely need to do that.
One second, we're not sponsored by
Yeah.
this thing. So you're not getting this advert because I'm not getting paid for this advert. I can skip it then.
Oh, look at it.
I can't.
Oh.
It's so cute. And I don't need this woman talking about it. Let's take the
I
options off.
I
Put it on
never
there.
really looked at what a hippo's face looked like until I was watching these videos, and I was like, they're really odd looking, actually, aren't they? Like cute as you like, but kind of strange looking.
The full size ones are insane. The strength, have you seen them in water? How they like chase
Yeah.
people on boats? It's in.
Oh.
How Fleur is that?
Yeah, it really does remind me of my my housemate's puppy Fleur. So if anybody is following my other social medias, they'll have definitely seen Fleur feature.
Well, we've got to cover the cursed Friday the 13th.
Oh yes,
so
you're gonna see her anyway. But yeah, she looks just like Fleur.
When Fleur's had enough.
I'm gonna call Fleur Moo Deng from now on.
She's going viral with the name Mood Deng because she's such a mood, right? She's so beautiful.
You know what? Like, it is a real pick me up, isn't it? Watching something cute like that. I never really used to be the kind of, ooh, let me look at something cute, but now I am.
There's something like that just. Oh my word.
Let us know in the chat what you think about this this cute little hippo, because I feel like we're hyping it up like, man, everyone else is just switching off like, okay, we don't need this.
I know. Am I going mad? Like, love baby mood. Literally, how do I get a baby mooding?
Oh,
Like, the mum's not that much bigger as a full sized one. It's so like, oh, one day ago, this hippo is blowing up. It's the new tour girl.
yeah, and so much better. The cute thing about this story that I like is the fact that this zoo is now getting so much attention that they're going to get loads of funding from it. They're actually going to make a cartoon out of her. Have you seen? Yeah, that's the next thing. So they're going to.
My God, get me the Moo Deng plushies. Give me the.
Yeah, well,
slippers.
that's what they're doing. They're patenting a design, and then they're going to launch some merch and things. And
That's what was going through here. I saw some like manufacturing process happening.
yeah. But I, you know, yeah, that is there.
We're getting them on merch.
So,
Like,
oh,
I also want Moo Deng to sell my
wear
beauty
your
products.
blush like a baby hippo. Oh,
Maria, you be crazy.
love
Peace
that.
and love. This just,
Ah.
it's like wicked products as well.
There's Moo Deng wearing them. Maybe we'll send her a t-shirt.
Oh my God, I want a t-shirt with Moo Deng on it.
Yeah, but I think that dream will become a reality very, very soon. And the sounds like all the profits are going to go to this zoo. So you know, it's quite a nice feel-good story, isn't it? Because
For all the chaos in the world, it's a beautiful one to just start off this.
Moo Deng.
Moo Deng. Absolutely love Moo Deng. But before we get to that, we've got peace to get to. But first, we have curses.
Yeah, I'm gonna say let's begin with the curse,
So
and end with the peace.
Friday was Friday the 13th,
My favourite day of the year.
which you made your favourite day, right? Because
Yeah,
it stops
severe
it being...
OCD. Yeah. So when
Okay.
I was younger, I really,
Amazing.
really suffered from being like superstitious and really bad OCD and stuff like that. And when I heard that 13 was an unlucky number, I immediately made it my favourite number because I thought I am not having this fear of a number. But it turns out that in my witchy spiritual realm, 13 is a really powerful number. There's 13 moon cycles in a year, and hence why it was then condemned to be an unlucky number, because there's such a power to that number. So, so yeah, I find it interesting that I was drawn to that all those years ago, before I was drawn to kind of witchy rue and stuff like that. So, yeah, look, this is the thing. Melissa's saying, "Oh my God, when I was
Alexi.
Hey, Alexi." But yeah, Melissa's saying, when I was younger, I'd get so scared when it was Friday the 13th, because adults really are like, oh, be careful, And if you understand manifestation, like when we've spoken to Sedge, you conjure that stuff. So if you go into the 13th thinking something terrible is going to happen, chances are you're going to find something terrible that you can then blame on Friday the 13th.
That anxiety, unconscious bias where your brain is picking them out. It's doing a job for you, where it's going, ignore all that good stuff that happened. Literally, remember this, remember this, remember this.
Exactly.
Now
you
I'm
might even be looking for the bad things. But so I did a oh God, I don't read that word out.
Anyway. Bit of knife crime went down with Alexi's friend as a victim, just to be clear. Again, I've always says because of the superstition. I mean, unfortunately, the UK is rife with knife crime. Ditch the knife. Shout out to all the efforts that you're doing. I hope there was a anti-bleed kit. Somewhere close.
I'm glad your friend's okay, Alexian.
Definitely.
But this is the thing, isn't it? Because of that superstition, you then blame it on Friday the 13th. It then makes the superstition stronger. But I did a post about making your own luck, and how I believe that, you do kind of make your own luck, and the power is within, and blah, blah, blah. And then the Friday the 13th just proceeded to just be one of the craziest days.
So let's say, right, we're going to show it in a bit of a Tarantino. I'll show you the ending and then show you to the start, because trust me, trust my storytelling. That's why. So that night, we went to go and see a open mic night.
Yeah.
You were tempted to maybe go up yourself.
I was going to, but then,
after all the curses, maybe best not.
Well, I mean, the way the night, it wasn't really, in my eyes, an open mic night how I imagined. It was more like a gig.
For people that all seemed to know each other quite well.
They all, a lot of them were from the same label of the people that was hosting the gig. So I think, and because it was the last one they were doing, I think it was like a special one where they, contacted their artists and said, do you want to play? Do you want to play? Do you want to play? Yeah, come and play. And it didn't seem like I should just be like, excuse me. It was very cool, wasn't it? And we were like,
it was wicked.
I felt like a complete imposter. Like, I was so not cool enough to be there.
Definitely not cool at all. But we went there anyway. So coming over to you, I noticed the moon is so bright. Oh wait, I did turn it off. I can't use the audio, including your rapping. We've got some of your rapping in it. I might have to get it back for that. There is actually let's do it on that instead of there. There is for some reason I thought to record me coming in. I don't know why. I've never recorded this before in my life. But first of all, did you see that barrier? Look how janky. I should have known. That should.
It flew up.
So I finally get there and meet Lindsay. Right, this is where I need to dip in and out of the being clever. We have just made a quick pit stop. Lindsay's gone to pay for the parking, but she's locked out of. How are we supposed to get out? I suppose.
You're worried about the music?
Yeah. Explain for us what's happening.
Well, we're just trying to pay up and get out of this car park, but everywhere where the pay machines are, they were all locked.
They're all like inside the center of the building rather than.
But that was closed. So then we were like,
and it wasn't just like you go down a like.
Yeah,
there was so many areas within one. I don't know.
Like we felt completely lost, didn't we? Like it wasn't just a normal car park where you're just going like this. So we're lost. I ended up going over to these people and saying, like, where can I pay for my ticket? And they were like, we're from Nottingham, we don't know. And they were like, what, can you not get out? I was like, I don't know how to. Scared them because they've driven.
They've just got in. They're
Yeah.
like, what?
What do you mean you don't know how to get out? And then every time we saw another set of pay machines, we're like, oh, brilliant, I bet that one will be open. I'd go over. Nope, that one isn't open either.
It became ridiculous. So this is where you're like, I go to breath work, I do park in this. Like, Lindsay's been in this car park before.
Yeah, I wasn't.
So you're like, I just need to find that place that I know and use the ticket thing that is in the place that it always works for me. And we're like, okay, surely this has got to be open, right? You can see the ticket machine.
Yeah, this is what kept
finger.
This is what kept happening.
And that didn't work.
No, that one was short. Then this is where I found the bit where I usually park, and so I'm thinking, well, I can go to the outdoor one then, but then even those doors were locked.
That's looking like exactly the same as before, and it's not, right?
Yeah.
It's so confusing. It's like it was haunted and it was playing games on us, just like putting a different set of cars, just like repeating. He was like,
I was so exhausted after this that I was like, I don't think I can go to the open mic night. Or like, it felt like we were in there for hours, didn't it? So there's where I think that there's going to be one, but that's locked as well. So I'm like, what?
This is all shortened footage as well. We must have been there
Look,
for about half an hour.
They're starting to panic, thinking, okay, we're actually locked in a car.
So you're going to ask other people, but I can see that they're also confused, and I'm looking more and more worried. Like, there's so many cars in here. We can't be doing something wrong.
That was the thing, wasn't it? Where it's like, I feel like such an idiot, but I don't know what else to do. Like, we've tried everywhere.
I'm being useless, just staying in the car. You're running around the entire place.
So then look, I finally found where we can get in and pay.
This makes me laugh so much. Do you see each time you come out there's people looking at you.
Absolutely adding up. Turns out it didn't take.
Say that again.
I know it's Friday the 13th and all that, but oh my god.
Okay, we finally found one. Doesn't take cash. Ugh.
That annoys.
Is it cursed?
Way!
What the hell is she looking?
My
Unstoppable.
Yes. ain't no crows can keep you down.
So what Lizzie said then is, ain't no crows can keep me down. And you're probably thinking, what do you mean? First of all, what's the chat saying? Oh my god, Amelia tell me she's coming over for the weekend on the 11th of October.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Together. We'll have to see when we're doing like a Halloweeny type thing, see if we can all meet up.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm so superstitious. I don't play Christmas music before December. I don't want to be breaking any mirrors, walking at any ladders, etc. It's a real problem. It was for me. I got to the point where I was breaking superstitions on purpose because I thought I've got to prove to myself that. But this is the thing, obviously on the Friday, I'm saying, it's nothing to do with good luck, bad luck. But then Friday, it was almost like it was showing me, actually, if we want to send you a load of bad luck, we can.
But that's like, again, it's because it's happening, then you're like, oh, then that's confirmed it. But is that not just an unconscious bias?
Yeah, exactly.
It's ridiculous, right? It's so like, how do you live life without thinking about this stuff? There's so many people out there that you see them driving their car and I'm like, they never think about this stuff, do they?
I was having that thought today, like, how many people are just living life without questioning the meaning, realising that their time is finite, that, there's a bigger picture than just kind of going to work every day.
And they're like super stressed, got so many addictions, vices, like got terrible relationships with people, but they're like mentally healthy. They're not like that does. I'm like, how?
Because they're not overthinking everything.
Nuts. Finding a parking space in these places are a nightmare, totally.
Do you know what? Finding the parking space wasn't the problem. It was finding the bloody pay machine to pay up so we could leave that was the problem.
We missed a bit at the start as well, where we tried to get out of the
different
place
car
that
park,
you picked me up from, and the barrier just wouldn't go. It wouldn't accept
Swallowed
your
my
ticket,
ticket,
but then didn't put the barrier up. But I'm like, go into other ones, pressing the intercom. No one's answering.
Yeah, it was so
To ring him like,
embarrassing.
hello. And he was like, is that you sat with your hazards on? We're like, yes, please. And the thing just rose up. It was like, then we're getting messed up in the other one. I was like, oh my God, if that guy monitors this one as well, we look absolute treats.
Yeah. By then it's like we're getting banned from town.
So
this is my day before the car parking incident. So that was the evening.
you didn't know Lindsay has her own YouTube as well for a different human design. Got a few more getting a few more followers now.
Yeah, it's building slowly but surely.
Go and follow her. But so yeah, let's start with the magic that is.
What have you been doing?
But
So this happened first. I work from home on a Friday, so keep an eye on Fleur. Obviously, I've took my eye off her for too long. What have you been doing? Oh my God, do I even dare look round? Our very old Moo Deng. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Moo Deng be digging.
Whoa! See that? That's her diving up and it's trying to smash the camera out of my hand. I think she knows I'm going to show her dog mum. Like, she's like, yeah, don't you dare film this. Like, that's my hole.
Snitch.
Yeah. She's in the hole.
No, there's nothing there. Don't worry about it.
No, leave it alone. Look at this smile. Wait.
Can you go back one?
Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it? I have actually screenshot that myself. I've got that picture, like, just such a dark. Oh. She tries to smash the camera out of my hand. Then she flops on top of the hole to say, "You're not filling that back up. I've been working on this. You know, this is mine." Then when I start telling her, "You've got to come inside," it's like power mode is activated. And this bit, this is like a minute-long video. In the end, I was like, I really ought to do something. I'm just laughing my head off. We need to go inside. Look at me. Fleur. What's this? What's this? And the whole time I'm thinking, this is why I can't have kids, because they'd be doing something wrong and I'd be just laughing my head off. You know, like, what I know I shouldn't be telling her off, but I'm just literally giggling the whole time.
How do you discipline?
Oh, I'm sorry, my baby bath.
That's so
Oh my God.
I just want to see
Oh
it
my God.
knock into you.
Whoa! She's in the hole, look. She's so naughty, oh but God. She's so funny as well. And she does look... She does kind of look like Moo Deng. She is cute.
So you've gotten home. Fleur
That's
Moo Deng.
Yeah, that's happened about lunchtime.
You've finally done that. And then what's happened?
Well, then we'd got the gala the next day. So I'd done my work, sorted out Flo, got her like all washed off because she was covered in mud. Gone upstairs. Then I thought, right, I need to go in the front room because we don't let the dog in there because it's like there's just stuff everywhere for her to get involved in. No, and I go back downstairs, and the dog's like sat on the sofa like this, upright. She's not chilling on the sofa. She's upright, looking very stiff backed and staring at me. And I'm like, "What's up with you?" And then I go to go into the front room, and I'm like, "What is going on?" My brain just couldn't compute what it was seeing because it has already been a bit of an odd day. But just press play, and they can just see for themselves what I saw in my front room after that.
You're about to see the best footage on it.
I can't actually believe that's just happened. What the actual... Okay, I need to be brave. What the hell? Right, birds, please be very, very calm. I'm going to let you out. Oh, this is horrible. Ah! Oh my God. Okay, I'm opening the door. Fly out, fly out. Oh, they've gone. I can't actually believe that's just happened. What the actual... Oh, God. Look, there's bird shit everywhere. I am literally, so distressed. What even was that? God, it's making my eyes water. I'm not even scared of birds, but that was really scary. What was going on? It goes still. There's one more. Oh no, two more.
The day before the one. Oh yeah. Got this sent to me. So like, I've had the worst, weirdest fucking thing happen to me. And you just sent me this screenshot. I was like, what are you doing? I had no idea. But it was Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds was taking place.
I know. Look, see how they've ripped the curtain pole out of the wall.
Crows are strong. Do everyone saying it's a pigeon, by the way? You're so blind.
I know.
You know?
Somebody commented on the video saying to mistake crows for pigeons is just wrong. I was like, they're not pigeons, they're crows.
Now, of course, you freaking out is hilarious. You're screaming, this is horrible. It's the scene of the bird just like fluttering behind you as you're desperate to try to open it.
I go for the birds. I'm like, I'm gonna let you out. You see that I'm running towards the door, but then one bashes the back of my head.
You know, we talk about stress levels and arousal. You can see how it was like, there, I just need to. They never stayed there as they're like batting around you. But my favourite shot is as you turn this round when you first come in the living room. Right, I've got to be brave now. Imagine walking into the.
What are they doing in there? My brain was just like, it could not fathom what was going on. Like,
I'd have shut the door and been like, that's not my living room.
you know, like, because I read about alternate realities and stuff so often, I was genuinely like, I'm not in the normal world anymore. Where am I?
You get sensitive. You know, you're like having this like panic attack, and all the comments are like, babe, it's a message, made me so blessed, and I'm dying so hard because I'm like, thank fuck I'm not blessed. Thank God I'm not this spiritually connected shit.
That's why
animals love you, man.
I know. I had one tapping on my window at 4:30 in the morning when it was still summer and it was light at that time. I'm laying in bed, I'm like, what the hell is that? And I've like woke up, it's this bird on my windowsill just peering in at me like, I'm like, what do you want?
Tell them I've got some curtains for off. She wants some changing up.
But look, that's why I've tagged it Universe Send Me a Sign. Because it's like,
Still laughing.
yeah, so what kind of a sign is that?
There's a video of Anna's cat staring at you as well. Just like trying to have a conversation. Like there's a whole table full of people.
Yeah.
Cat's just sat opposite you, leaning in.
Like,
Let
let
me
me have a look.
ignore it.
Fleur the other day just like put her chin against my chin and just pressed there, just staring into my eyes, like, you know, and I was like, kept it there for ages and just burst out laughing. So I couldn't hold the laughter because it was the fact she was pushing her chin in. Let's just play it through one more time then. Watch me run towards the door. Be brave. What the hell? Right, birds, please be very, very calm. I'm going to let you out. Oh, this is horrible. Ah! Oh my god. Okay, I'm opening the door. Fly out, fly out. Oh, they've gone.
That still is amazing as well.
I can't actually believe that just happened. What the actual...
Did you pause it in that for effect? Or
No,
it's just how the switch.
Yeah.
That's amazing. The way that it just stops on you, like,
I know, it's like somebody commented just with capital letters fly out, and that I watched the video again, and then I was like absolutely screaming with laughter again but the fact that I'm screaming at them, fly out, like, oh, it's unbelievable.
it's not quite Snow White, is it?
Someone that's like, yeah, Miliz, you sound like the bird when you're screaming. Someone else said that to me today. I saw my friend and I said, did you see the video of the birds? And she was like absolutely in stitches. She went, you sounded like a crow when you were screaming. I was like, I know.
Is that your spirit animal?
Yeah, I know. This is the thing though. This is why it's so connected. Like,
Trying to bring you into their cover.
oh, I know. That I felt so guilty. I was like, they've sent me this beautiful sign and I'm screaming, fly out. They're like, we went to see her, but then they were like,
I literally
want me to get out.
Mother Earth, like whatever, like whatever this is, like I love this, like please send it me again, but in a slightly less traumatic way.
I know. 2 of them down their chin.
Maybe a squirrel just brings me something, I don't know. Like, I don't know, it just comes to my doorstep and then goes away. It just enters my house.
I mean, maybe I'll just quickly explain with the
chat's dying.
the the animal thing, that was not a beautiful sign. So I was using my pendulum that I bought at Community Festival to ask what my animal guide is, and I knew it was, well, I suspected it might be a bird.
Yeah.
So then is it a bird? Yes, it's a bird. And once it confirmed it was a bird, so I asked loads of different animals and it was saying no, but a bird, it kept saying yes. So then I went through different types of bird. I was like, is it an eagle? No. Is it a crow? Yes. So,
I love that.
yeah. And then I'm reading at the minute Wayward, which is a book about witches historically, and they've got the crows as the animal, and they are a common animal in folklore. So there's me. That kid. But yeah, so it's an interesting one. If there are people out there that are mediums or intuits or whatever, let me know what you think about the two crows. What do you think they were a sign of? I believe they were a positive omen of change, good changes to come.
I agree. So everything's
And
frozen.
to be honest, that's the important part, isn't it? It's what you believe, because what you believe is what's going to come true from it.
100%. But shout out to those birds you created some fantastic content. I really appreciate it. And Flair as well.
Yeah.
Little baby Moo Deng.
I think I've got another funny video of Flair. I was just going to say about the laughter and the peace thing, because we will talk about peace in a minute, but well, we're kind of going to talk about it now. But the whole thing with peace and creating peace and happiness, having a good old laugh helps. So
I love that.
but this week I went to breathwork, which is one of my things that I would say if you wanted to find inner peace, try breathwork. It's amazing. And we began by doing an Om chant, which, for those that don't know, sacred sound, meant to be the frequency of the whole universe. And also when you're making that sound, you're sending those vibrations throughout your body, so you're actually healing yourself from the inside out with those vibrational frequencies. So I'm laying there doing my breath work, and it's like, you need to start doing this on more. And I used to in the shower hum, or like all different ones, because I'd like to feel in the vibrations. So I'm thinking, I need to start omming more in the morning. Now, the 2 mornings that I've tried to do it, it sends the dog loopy. It's so funny. She can be doing whatever. And as soon as you start humming, she drops what she's doing, stares at you, and just runs and dives. Like, I want to know if anybody else's pet reacts like this. Is it that it is the universal, sound? So because she can feel it, and that's what's making her react like that, or is it just because she's a daft dog and like a daft puppy? I don't mean that in a horrible way. I just mean like I think she's got this daft nature. Now I'm making a sound.
Right, yeah.
But this morning I set the camera up the first time because she kept doing it. It was so funny. So I set the camera up and did it again just to capture a few of the reactions. So this morning I did the same. I set the camera up and I'm sat like this, and I only had to go, and she'd dive. She even knew just from the taking a nice, that I'm doing a nice breath in, but it's the way she was staring at me like, there's you, like as I'm breathing in, you can tell she's like, no, like, and I'm absolutely laying there in stitches, and I thought, even that's a lovely way to start the day.
That's well good.
Just like laughing your head off. But anybody that's got pets out there, please try and om near them and record their reaction.
This is really interesting. I'm going to try with cats. I'll see if that was...
Yeah.
I feel like they'll just ignore me.
Well, cats purr. When a cat purrs, that's to do with vibrational healing.
Okay.
So, so they may well just be used to it because they already do it, or they may react to it because that is something they're tuned into. So a lot of people talk about cats when you're laying down, they'll come and sit on your heart chakra and they'll purr, and they're like cleansing you through there.
My cat is like maybe she's just a bit of a sludge, but she purrs for anything. Like
she's a healer. She's tuning. She's a healer cat.
She could be like knocking stuff off the side, and I'm like, hey, don't do that, because my hand is somewhere near her. She's like, you're like, no.
Little floozer.
But so, peace.
Yeah.
I think it's a wicked topic and very relevant right now. We need a bit of peace in our lives. How do we do that?
Well, it's a very introspective kind of topic, isn't it? Because when I first used to think of peace, I'd think of war and,
Okay, yeah, the opposite of war.
External peace, like countries being at peace, and peace as in, peace and quiet, it being quiet outdoors. But then a couple of years ago, I did this course called the Peace Education Program Collection, PEP Collection. And I am actually going through the process to get the license for this so that we'll be able to teach it as well. And it's totally free. It's voluntary. It's the point is, though, it's a choice. So you choose to take part in this. It's not forced upon anybody through education. But it's a course that's been rolled out in prisons and had the most amazing results. And it's a guy called Prem Rawat that founded it, and he's been talking about peace on stage since he was about 8 years old. He's like a very, very inspirational character. He travels the world. But this peace education program really got me to think about peace being within, and that is something we can control. We can't control what's going on in the greater wider world, but we can control our own kind of internal space. And then through the other things that I've been reading about, they're talking about that you feel like you can't have an impact on the big wide world, but by maintaining your own peace and working on yourself, you are actually having an impact on the collective conscious of the world.
That ripple effect, it starts with you, right? You can't... perfect.
And it's in itself made me feel more peaceful, because I went from being quite, so frustrated by everything that I'm viewing, and frustrated that I can't do anything about it, and I've got all this passion and I want to help people, and to know that I can help people by sitting in my own peace, and that in itself is helpful because it's sending out an energetic value, was kind of healing for me, because it was like, wow, you are being a productive human being purely by practicing your own peace. Which was magic. It was like this magic balm, this healing balm. But it does all start with you, and it does all start with kind of being quiet in your own company and thinking about what things are antagonizing you, what's bringing that discomfort in the first place.
I think a really common one that we come up with, especially in my sessions with people, a frequent one is, why should I extend my peace and gratitude or compassion to people that are rude to me? When I walk through a shop or whatever and I say good morning and they ignore me, why shouldn't I go, oh, F me then?
Or flip the hat off the head.
And it is that idea of, you cannot control anyone else, unfortunately, else we'd all be having no need for this discussion, I suppose. But
literally, that's what my students say as well, though. If you don't respect me, I won't respect you.
It's difficult, right? Because it's that idea of being the bigger man can make some people feel like a bit of a doormat. Like, oh, well, I'm just, but it's not. And that's that thing. Are you a doormat? Or is it just about shifting your perspective and seeing yourself as the more healed, the more, not what, that person's hurt. I don't need to add to that. I don't need to be a part of that. Like, that idea of loving people that need more love, these people that supposedly hate you or criticize you, show them more love and peace as that you would.
It's definitely that thing of, like, if you say good morning and somebody ignores you, in your mind you've just got to think, do I want to now become as rude as them by lowering myself, or do I want to continue shining my love and light the way that that, because that's the person that I am. And it's like, just keep walking. And in your mind, what I tend to do, because I do struggle with it still, but road rage, that's always been my bugbear, especially because I do all this inner work and then put me behind the wheel.
It's a tense situation.
I'm there losing my mind at a stranger because they've cut in going, who do they think they are, effing this, that and the other. But actually, so what? But and I have got a lot better with it. And what I tend to think is, wow, I'm so glad I'm not that person. I'm so glad that I don't feel that bad about other people, or that I don't treat other people like that. And that's my way of kind of overcoming it, where I just think, I'm grateful that I don't treat other people like that. I'm grateful that mama raised me better than that type, that kind of attitude. And that's what I try and pass on to the students, that, I get it, that you want to say, well, they disrespected me, so I disrespected them in return. But actually what you want to say is, fair enough, that's how you want to treat people. Good luck to you. See what kind of life you end up with. But I'm not going to lower myself to that.
I think within religion, it's kind of understood with, like, you're not God, so you shouldn't be making these judgments and decisions for other people.
I hate that. Well, they deserved it. Oh, I'm like, oh, did they? The minute you put that judgment that they deserved it, that means anybody else could walk up and say, well, you deserve this, because you're accepting that power for yourself to be able to judge and work out who deserves what. Well, that means that you can accept that other people could do that to you then.
Yeah.
And you know there's more to the picture than that one moment you perhaps did deserve a little slap in the face or whatever.
There's moments, right? And it's about you being honest with yourself. Am I doing the most I can right now? Am I doing too much?
Yeah. But I think when I did this peace education program, and it really got me to think about, he talks a lot about breath. He he says just think about your breath, and he just really, I suppose it is like listening to somebody do a meditation type thing.
Right.
And doing breath work and doing all these things that put you in your own head. That has brought me this level of peace where I was driving to work today and I was literally thinking, despite anything that's going on that's stressing me out, I know I could be sat anywhere in the countryside, in my bedroom, in the car, whatever, and look inward, and I am peaceful. And that is such a powerful feeling.
I love that.
That, externally anything could be going on, but then I can turn within.
Yeah.
And I'm peaceful and I'm happy and I'm
love that.
grateful. So it is so powerful to be able to create this peace within and then protect it. And you protect it by, not putting yourself in situations and circumstances that are toxic, by having those, like when you go saying about like being a doormat thing, if you've got someone in your life, like a partner, for example, or a friend that you're allowing to talk to you disrespectfully all of the time, then maybe it is to draw the line and say enough is enough. That is disrespectful. The stranger in the co-op that hasn't, the stranger in the co-op that doesn't return your smile or doesn't say thanks because you held the door open, whatever, let it slide. But when it's somebody that's in your life, if they are disrupting your peace, you've got to be very honest with yourself, I think, and decide when, you know what, you might not know any better. That might be all you know, and that's fine. But I know better.
How can you ever be so sure? It's terrifying, isn't it?
But that's the thing. You've got to be comfortable enough in your own decision to know it doesn't matter whether I'm right or wrong. I mean, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about the fact that is disturbing my peace, and I need to put space between me and that thing,
right?
That situation, that person, that circumstance. And that it doesn't necessarily mean you're right. It just means that that's not right for your peace.
Definitely. I feel like you can only decide what your peace is, right? I feel I've heard it more recently, and it does tend to come from men, not necessarily women. And this idea of this other half bringing you peace. She's got to bring me peace, man. She's got to bring me peace. And what that seems to be translating to is she doesn't natter me. She doesn't nag me. She doesn't keep on at me.
How dare she want me to take responsibility for my share of things?
Yeah, and that's exactly where I start to lose your peace should be made up by you and you alone. And when it comes to other people, it should just be thinking about how your peace is affecting them, in a good way. This idea of they should be bringing me this, she shouldn't be that, or not just men against women. There's a load of things. This idea that someone else
is responsible for your peace.
Yeah, if it's not bringing you peace, then you step away.
You're
Don't be there trying to be a better person constantly. It's not going to help.
And this is the thing of what I mean about having this inner peace, is that I don't like my surroundings being a mess. I'm very visual, and if my surroundings are a mess, I can find it hard to focus. I can find it hard to feel calm. But since finding this level of inner peace, I can look inward and say, is this affecting me right now? Is it dangerous? Is it causing No, it's not. And that's the point, that I can see above the mundane and the little things. Do you see what I mean? So it's kind of like, if you're sat there saying, well, the house is a mess, and that's because my missus ain't tidied it up, and therefore that's affecting my peace. That's not what we're talking about. Essentially, you should be at peace regardless of whether the house is a mess or not. You should be able to see that peace is the fact that you've got breath and air in your lungs, that, that miracle of the sun setting has happened again.
I guess that's why gratitude is such a core part of this piece, right?
Very much,
because if you're not taking the time to be grateful for these things, changing this perspective, it's about seeing each thing in a different level. And like you say, you have to keep every day, something's bothering me. Why?
Yeah.
It's because of this. Right. I don't need to be outwardly pointing anymore. Let's figure out what can I do to be able to sit with this better, or
gratitude
manage.
And affirmations are two of the most powerful tools in terms of, you can work gratitude in so many different ways. Like, you can sit and you could write 3 different ones every single day, or you can challenge yourself to fill 60 seconds with like quick fire gratitudes. You can do that however you want, whenever
That
you
sounds like a way more ADHD friendly. Like you've got
Yeah.
60 seconds, all the things you're grateful for. Go.
Yeah, and it's like, and then you really have to kind of think, I'm grateful for my bed, I'm grateful for my cupboards being clean, I'm grateful for the
Yeah.
food being in the fridge, I'm grateful for a roof over my head. And you start to, because you've got to fill it,
Yeah.
you start to think of all the things you're grateful for. And by the end of that 60 seconds, your heart's lifting.
Yeah.
You can physically rewire your brain through those kinds of thoughts.
Yeah, definitely. I had a lecturer that they used to have this whiteboard or corkboard, whatever, at the end of just before you left the house. And
The
when
house
she
or
started learning about, sorry.
Did you say just before you left the house? Did you mean the lecture room? Because you said I had a lecturer.
No,
her
house.
Oh, okay.
She was saying about how she
Yeah.
utilised this at home.
Yeah.
I said she was learning about therapy and compassion focused therapy, and learnt about like putting your gratitudes,
Yeah.
literally putting them on a piece of paper. So at her house, she was like, right, everything you're grateful for, stick them on here. And at the end of the week, we'll see how much we're actually grateful for.
Beautiful.
And at the start, her kids and her husband were like, what are you doing? So
Yeah.
at the end of it, she was like, I've got 8 different things that I'm grateful for this week. What about you? And they were like, oh, I can't really. She was like, well, I feel so happy right now.
Yeah.
I feel so great. I don't have the stress that I normally have at the end of the week.
Yeah.
How are you all feeling? And Dad's like, oh, I'm shattered. The kids are like, oh my God. And she was like, let's just try it. And what started with like I don't know, I'm grateful for Mum sticking it on.
Yeah.
It became like if I don't do this, I am almost risking not feeling good about myself at the end of this week.
Yeah.
It becomes like, no, it's important to
habit.
me. Every morning, coming down, what am I grateful for? And sometimes it's just like 5 more minutes of sleep. Mum, let me sleep in.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like,
Got to be grateful for those small things. Like the small things is what creates that big picture.
yeah. But if you're not taking the time to find them,
Yeah, you can get stuck in that rut where everything, especially with so much going on negativity in the news and on social
yeah.
media, it can
Friday
end
the
up-
13th.
Yeah,
curses.
yeah, you can end up really stuck in a rut. But affirmations as well. We've got this. I got a pack of affirmation cards for my birthday, and I just decided to take them to school at the beginning of this term, and I thought I'm just going to get them to draw one every day, and I'll stick it on the board, and that's the affirmation. It has gone down a treat. It's now at the start of every lesson. Every kid wants to pick their own affirmation. They have that on the desk in front of them for that lesson, and that's what they refer to as their positive thing. And it's they share them with each other. What does yours say? We discuss about what it means and stuff like that. And there's always a couple stuck up on the board, and a few a few that stay up for the week, a few that stay up for the day, and they're always changing. And I think it's the small things, those small habits, and that affirmation. It's like one today was I dare to be different. So simple. And then another one was like, I know that I have the skills I need. They're just, it just changes how you think about yourself.
I love that.
So affirmations, it's such a simple thing, but they're so powerful. But even if you say like, I am filled with peace and happiness, the more you think that, you're gonna rewire your brain into using that as a.
I think my favourite thing that Sedge said was about living the life as if you've already got it. So like when you're talking about it, saying it in this, I am so thankful that I already have this. But even down to the way you live, like the Louis Vuitton handbag, before she got that bag, she was treating her Primark bag exactly like it was. It was going in its own like little thing at night. It was being cared for. It wasn't being put on the floor. She was like looking after it, cleaning it out regularly. And it was just some £10 bag from Primark.
Do you know what that actually is? It's just struck me now because they talk about it in this peace education program. That's that not falling in the trap of things will be better when. Because actually, a lot of the people I work with say, yeah, well, when this happens, then I'll do that.
When I've got a job, when I've got more money, when I've got that thing that I need, once I've got that car.
Yeah, when this happens, then I'll do that. But actually, that thing's never going to come because you're not acting like it's already here. You need to practice it in the here and now.
I'm still the same mess, but now I've got a car.
And and
great.
all we have is this very moment. That is literally it. Essentially, the past doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And the present isn't given either. I mean, the future isn't given either. So essentially, all you've actually got is right now. So if you're constantly thinking, oh, but when this changes, then I'll fix up, or I'll be happy when, you're actually stealing happiness from this. Just be happy right now. You don't choose it.
The most I'm gonna make videos about these things because we can look at Gloria going through all these different psychotherapies back in the 80s. But Fritz Perls, the founder of Gestalt therapy, he says I am now in the here and now. And he says anyone not interacting in this here and now basis is purely avoiding the stuff that they like, the present, being here, like the thing that they're supposed to be doing in life. And it's this idea of like phoning. It's so good. She sits down and she's like, she knows what kind. Gestalt is very aggressive.
Yeah.
It's a little bit pushy. It's not like, it's, so for example, she sits there and she's like, I feel like you figured me out. And she's like, I'm a little bit scared. And he's like, you're smiling. Why are you telling me you're scared when you're smiling?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, that's just what people do. He says, no, scared people do not smile.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're a phony. Straight out calls her a phony. And she's like, I don't like that you're doing that to me. And he's like, he ignores her words. She'll do something. He's like, what's this arm? What's this arm doing? Keep doing this with your arm. And she's like, you can see she's like getting more agitated, more like, what are you bringing up my arm for? What's this got to do with it? And she's like, I think you think you're better than me. And he was like, tell me I'm better than you. And she's like, no, you're not better. She gets so confused. But he's just trying to show you, like, unless you engage with me in your truest authentic form, stop pretending that you're scared in a because he basically got to realize at the end that she puts herself in this corner and it makes people respond in a, it's games. Everything's games.
Yeah. Everything's manipulation.
So if you do this like,
degree.
oh, I don't know, you're forcing me to be aggressive and go, no, you do know, or withdraw and pretend I don't know.
Yeah.
And if we could just stop these silly games, we can connect so easily. But I'd love to show that video with you. I need to make sure that I can get it cleared.
I like that though. I think that's why I respect Judge Judy, because she just calls them out. Like, she'll say sometimes like, you're lying. And they're like, and it's like a fish out of water because nobody's ever just called them out.
Exactly.
And to be honest, it definitely made me think, in the past, I know when somebody's lying, and yet I won't call them out, or I'll say you're lying and they'll lose their mind, obviously. No, I'm not. And I know they are, and I could string them up because I'm thinking, well, you've just said this, you said that, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But I choose not to do it out of some kind of weird, not wanting to hurt their feelings. Never mind that they're hurting me with their actions and their lies and trying to make out I'm that much of a fool that I'm going to believe what they're saying. And yet I will sit there protecting their peace.
So much as, imagine if I sat here now and went on about how, I'm not the cleanest of people, but my house is it's pretty clean. And you're sat there going, babe, it needs a right good clean. What are you on about? But I'm not going to be rude and do that to you. So you put me in a position where I'm going, to people. And it's like, what is this? This is strange. Cavemen did not do this.
Do you know what I think's strange, though, is that with a lot of ADHD people, they're so authentically honest. It does scare other people. Like, I never realised, don't get me wrong, there's times I'll be masking, I'll be changing my behaviour to suit certain needs or whatever. But I never realised how much people lied until experience taught me that many years later. And I'm thinking, well, why did you say that then when you didn't mean
not
it? Because
just lies, stuff that goes unsaid.
And
I'm like, we're not going to look at that right now, we're not going to address this. And he's just like awkward, and I'm like, it's awkward, let's talk about it. It just happened, we can't pretend it didn't happen.
Do you think, I think there's so much going on that we could get into, but I read this quote to do with peace, and it said something like, when you sacrifice your peace to keep the peace, that's when it becomes your problem or something like that. And I can't remember the quote. That's quite clever the way it's written, but it's basically saying that the more you sacrifice your peace to keep the overall peace, the more you're creating a future you problem. And I know I've just said you should live in the moment and all that, but it's like, you can keep sacrificing what you know is causing agitation at the time for the sake of keeping the peace and keeping the peace, but you never outrun it. It will always return somehow. So it is worth basically facing the awkward things.
Yeah, definitely. When we say live in the here and now, it's about not losing yourself to the past or the future. Like, observe it, plan for the future, take experiences from the past and be like, that didn't work, I need to change that up. But don't stay living in those places.
Yeah.
Quickly return back to, because I'm making the plan now for the future.
One of the things he says in that peace education program, he talks about the fact that we all have choices from the minute we open our eyes in the morning and, you know, we decide whether to have breakfast and what to have for breakfast and what to put on for the day and, you know, what time to leave. And sometimes you start to question whether you've got a choice, you know, whether things are just happening. But actually, he's like, you are where you are right now because of every single choice you've ever made.
Yeah.
And he kind of gives you back this control of, oh my God, yeah, and I will be wherever my choices take me type thing. And it's like, it really holds you accountable for creating that peace within.
100%. I think it's really important because I think you can get old real quick, realise you didn't achieve what you wanted to.
One of the things that when I did my breath work, I got this message and it was like, I've got to share with as many people as I can this example of not worrying about fear. And fear came up earlier and I didn't even click that this was like to do with the message, fear and judgment.
Yeah,
and
it was so much.
Yeah. And I was feeling all of this hurt in the world that's happening right now and has happened because people spend their lives guided by fear rather than their actual dreams and desires. And the fear mainly comes through judgment of others. And yet everybody feels the same. So it's like, stop fearing that judgment of others, you know. And it was basically saying that I can share that message by continuing to live in this way of, you know, just go for it and follow my lead.
Not right, but
I said that to
you
say
can't
that.
change again other people. You can't change how they're going to perceive you, how they judge you. Haters gonna hate. Let them do their jobs.
And a lot of people are projecting when they're saying, "Oh, you know, I can't believe you did that." They're actually projecting their own fear onto you.
How often does someone do that, and you're like, the hypocrisy? Can you not see?
Yeah.
And they genuinely can't because they struggle to realize that what bothers them most about people is stuff that they actually have a problem with themselves about.
It's such a big indicator. Like if something triggers you immediately, what is it about that action that triggered you? And
literally, whatever you want to say to someone, say it in your head and then be like, do I do that? Every time I go and do it, like, I'd say 9 times out of 10, that's something I'm terrible at.
I'd say 9.
I start going, I'm like, why aren't you organised? I'm like, oh my God.
It's either something I don't like about myself or it's something that I was told off for as a child. And it's my inner child that needs healing. So one of the things is like with the kids at school, if they're being really loud, they're giggling, or if they're being disrespectful, those things are the things that I would have been told off for, you know, like, so it's when I hear it, I feel so angry, but then it's like, because I was made to feel a certain way by those actions when I was young. So then it's like and if you don't put a stopper to that cycle, you're just going to continue the cycle. They'll grow up and they'll be angry at kids for giggling because you were angry at them for giggling and you made them feel like there's something wrong with that.
Then no kid is ever allowed on anyone's lawn. Get off my lawn!
Do you know what the other thing I was going to point out this week, which I'm just going to say really quickly, it's National Singles Week. So shout out to all the singles out there. I've been sharing perspectives and thoughts and just kind of, because I think it's a lonely place to be for people if they feel like they're happy with it, but they feel like they're constantly being looked at like, oh,
society kind of places a relationship as like the goal of all, right? Married and although we're all kind of understanding and breaking out these preconceptions, it's not really. But it still comes into people's, oh, you're not married yet, and you're like of a certain age, oh, you're not having kids yet, and it's just a bit like, well,
it's not a solution that you need to fix. This is it.
It's really strange. Like we were talking about asexuality. Like you say to a doctor's about that, they will try and cure that. What on earth?
Yeah.
And I think a lot more needs to be said about friendships. Looking at the friendship you have, the relationship you have with yourself. And forgetting this idea of romance being the be all and
if we worked on ourselves first and foremost, then maybe the relationships wouldn't feel so scary and damaging to certain people.
You attract what you give, right? There's scared. I know for me, a scared, needed to get away from home, didn't like herself ran to the furthest bloke that would give me the most attention.
Yeah.
And that, my friends, is not the recipe for a good relationship.
And I was definitely a people pleaser, so I was just prey for those people that were the opposite of like empaths. Like I was such a giver, I'll give you anything to make you happy, and oh, that makes you unhappy, oh my gosh, let me just do this 10 times more, and I'll put up with anything because I want to make you happy. And it's like, it took a long time to realize that that's not how you're going to make anybody happy.
You might make a psychopath very happy like that, but don't expect to have much of a life outside of
Yeah,
that.
even they're not happy with it, are they? Then they always want more, need more. So yeah, it's not the way to go. But happy singles week, and from my content, I've had some people that have felt like they've been put in that situation against their will, but I was just trying to kind of help people to see positives. Like I've not shared the funny one yet, but like saying like, you can buy all the snacks and you don't have to share them, and you can sleep in a double bed, and that's where you stash your books, your remote,
Oh god, yeah.
things like that. So
there's loads of 100%. If I was like, oh, why don't we have a relationship day? That's Valentine's Day. And like, honestly, all of society is already celebrating, even like economically, they fucking care. Harder and harder to defend this guy. Is making single income.
The single tax, council tax thing.
To me, that should be way higher. So that, but they try and it's still painted that the nuclear family is the most economically beneficial because you buy one toothpaste for 4 people. You buy, and it's.
But it's like, what if you don't want that life?
Yeah,
literally. Just want to do what you want when you want.
You get married people's tax breaks. There's loads of stuff. So yeah, for anyone that's like, why aren't we having? Don't worry, I'm not offended. Let's celebrate these single people, please, because.
Well, it's just
why would we not?
It's just about, like I say, there was a few people commenting saying that if they mention someone that they're single, straight away it's like replies such as, "Oh, don't worry, we'll find someone for you," or "Don't worry, there's someone out there for you," or even that looking of like,
"Well, I seem worried."
Yeah,
I didn't mean to pull that face.
Or even like, I get the whole like, "What's wrong with you?" type reaction. There must be something wrong with you, and it's like, oh, there must be, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, that's why I wanted to shout it out.
Shout out, you singles. We love you guys. And
I just looked at the chat, just sort of fly out,
fly out, fly out.
If I ever get in a relationship ever again, that's what I'm going to be screaming at.
Fly out. I was gonna say, my spirit animal, well, my favourite animal is a penguin, and if I get greeted by one of them, I don't know how I'll feel.
Well, if a penguin's come down your chimney, then, that's pretty exciting.
On the chimney, oh my word. The kid, like, just pops out my freezer one day. Just like, oh, hey. It's like...
Can we all hit like, if you're still with us, hit like on the video, just in case you forgot to do it at the start.
It helps the algorithm.
It certainly does.
But it's been 1 hour and 7 minutes.
Yes, we're gonna love you and leave you because I'm absolutely dying for the loot.
I want some food.
Yeah. Oh, I've got little homemade quiches from my student.
Oh, that's so cute. Where's mine? No, seriously, if you've got quiche, always bring me some. What's extra? 11th of August, 11th of October, you girls said you'll be out, wouldn't you? The October is Vlogtober, a vlog every day. But I think at the end of each of those videos, I want to end each one by answering a question that you've left on the video from the day before. But the first one that I wanted to kick it off with, because obviously there's no one to ask the first one, I'm really excited to ask people. Maybe you can put it in your thing in the comments today if you want to. What statistic about your life would you want to know about everything? About anything. You can only get one. So like, how many times someone said I love you? How many times you've took a sip of something? Do you see what I mean? Like a statistic in your life.
I see the statistic in my life bit, but what was the second part? That you'd want to know about everything? I don't get.
No, as in like, if you were to pick one of the statistics to know, which would it be? I just find it so. I keep thinking of something. I'm like, that's what it would be, and then I think of something else, and I'm like, oh no, that'd be awesome. Like,
how many times I say the word like?
Concepts. Times the word.
Like, how many times do I say like?
I was speaking to someone and they said I want to know how many near deaths I've like avoided.
That's a really cool one.
That terrifies me. Tell me that on my deathbhy. No, I'll be like, how many?
Yeah,
That's
like
so clumsy.
you're driving along and then it just pops up like 17. What? Why? What happened?
What? But yeah, get thinking. I'm interested, guys.
How many times I've been the reason somebody's relationship broke down?
Wow.
Only
I'm
because
intrigued.
someone that I was talking to in the week said that they were the reason that a relationship had broke up and they didn't even know. They didn't even know that one of them existed.
Isn't that crazy?
And that's happened to me before as well.
How lives can like do this and have such an effect on each other, and some parties don't even know who the one is.
How many times I've overthought something?
How many times I've overthought something? Yeah, when you've been like, you know what? No, I was right about that, and it turns out you weren't.
How many times I've worried about something pointlessly because it didn't come true?
Ooh, that'd be a nice statistic. Because I feel like it'd be
Yeah.
like 8 million things so far in your life, Steph, and I'd be like, oh, that's a lot of time.
Yeah, it might actually help.
I have to pack that in. How many people lied to me? That's interesting.
Ooh, yeah, that. Then again, I know that anyway. My stomach kind of gives me a little like, that's a lie.
That's interesting though, right? But yeah, have a think of your answer, but also think of some questions that you can ask, and we'll answer them all together at Vlogtober.
Excellent. Well, next week we are going to go through our different resolution guides so far for this year. We've got the new a different resolution for 2025. So we're just going to have a bit of a kind of recappy type one, aren't we? Oh, and we'll do the Patreon draw as well, which is exciting. So if you're not a Patreon subscriber, get subscribed.
It's all happening. It's a fun. September's a bit of a like deep breath before October, right? Because it's
gonna be a
ADHD
busy
awareness month.
Yeah.
So, thanks guys. Thanks for joining us. As always, we really appreciate your support. Like and subscribe, as we've said already. That's about it.
Yeah, make sure you join us next week.
7 o'clock Thursdays. This is Lindsay.
And this is Steph.
We are A Different Human Design.
And this is A Different Podcast. Good night.